Okay, this is the Docket Dodgers, and we're going to do some bad legal advice that we found on Reddit. So, Wade, what we have? What's our first Reddit bad legal advice?
So we're going to give them bad legal advice or give the viewers bad legal advice?
I think it's all the way around. I think it's a two-way street.
Okay, good.
Well, what this is people have posted on things they've heard on bad legal advice on the Reddit forum. And these are a few that we picked out that we thought were interesting that we could talk about. So we'll see what we got first.
First one is something that comes up a lot. It says, don't know if this is true, but Leo have to have your consent before searching. I wanted to see if this was true. I always heard you can say, I do not consent to any searches, and they must stop searching your car immediately.
Well, I think what they're talking about there, Wade, is the Fourth Amendment. And what the Fourth Amendment says is that people have a right to be secured in their person, property, and effects and papers, unless there's a warrant signed by a neutral and detached magistrate upon oath or affirmation, and with probable cause. Normally, that is true, but you do have some exceptions to that, and one is the automobile exception,
which I think is very broad.
It is very broad. What the courts have said that you don't have the same sense of privacy and security in a car as you do in your home. And so if the officer pulls you over and you got your window rolled down, he comes up to you and he says, oh, I think I smell the odor of marijuana. I want to search this vehicle. Even though you say I do not consent to the search, that still gives that officer probable cause to search you.
No. So even if you say I don't consent, it doesn't matter once they have that reasonable suspicion.
And once they have the reasonable suspicion, it doesn't matter. They can search your car, and they're going to search your car. The best thing that you can do in those situations, if you're in an automobile and an officer tells you to step out because he suspects something, he sees something in plain view, he smells the odor of something, and he tells you to step out of the vehicle, the best thing you can do is be quiet. Don't say anything. That's the point where you want to stop answering questions.
Well, I think you should say that you're just traversing. You have a right to freely travel, that you're a sovereign citizen, and this is your boat, and you're captain of it. And no.
Privileges and immunities.
Yes, yes.
And all that jazz.
No, if they have a reason to search, they're going to search.
Yeah. All right, what we got next?
I'm no lawyer, neither am I. But I don't feel like most of the villains in Scooby-Doo committed any actual crimes. I don't think it's against the law to put on a mask and scare some trespassers on your own property.
Hey, this one I don't think is bad legal advice. I think that's true.
I disagree.
You disagree? You don't think it? Man, think about Halloween. What do you do?
You
put a mask on and you scare trick-or-treaters. You scare trespassers.
Yeah, but you're not like doing it to get people not to go somewhere to do some sort of business fraud. They're always some sort of scheme. He's leaving out half of the plot points here.
They're always scaring someone because someone knows there's an underground gold mine underneath this theater. We got to scare these people out of this theater and want them to sell.
There's money in the banana stand, okay? I think it's the reason that they're scaring. I think that matters.
And they would have got away with it if it wouldn't have been for those pesky kids and that dog, too.
Well, they invited them there every time.
Yeah. Or their van broke down. He even knows the mystery machine breaks down a lot.
Well, it's a bunch of stoners just traversing the country. It's not going to get too far. I always heard if you live together for X amount of time, you are married in the eyes of the law.
And what we're talking about here, Wade, I think is common law marriage. This is kind of true, part true. There's some states that do have common law marriage.
Not West Virginia. I've checked.
Kentucky doesn't either. Doesn't have common law marriage, but Tennessee does have common law marriage. If you're thinking about doing this, you think, oh, well, we just live together and we'll be like we're married. You got to realize that some things are not recognized in common law marriage. Common law marriage is typically used when there's some sort of like breakup and you're going through you're not going through divorce, you're going through a breakup, but you want to get some assets that you had of your relationship. And so that's where common law marriage can come up, but still it doesn't give you the full protections of like married people, like insurances and say bank accounts and property. It won't fall the same way, but like this most of the time is used for people who have been together for a long time. They own a home together. They own vehicles together.
I think of starting a business when I think of that, like a home business or something like that. They're entitled to so much ownership of like a restaurant or whatever.
Yeah. So that's where common law marriage can come up.
It's legal to beat your wife on the courthouse steps on Sunday.
How many? I have grown up hearing this my whole life. So, like silly stuff like that.
I think it's true. I think in Huntington, West Virginia, that's
I heard
a thing.
that was but can't find it on the books other than someone saying that in Huntington, West Virginia, that was a law on the books. I can't find it anywhere though.
Well, I want to see someone try.
Well, and also I heard that it's a law in South Carolina. When I was looking this up, it was a law. They said it was a law in South Carolina, but I can't find it anywhere. If you guys can find it somewhere, let me know. But I'm just going to give you some legal advice here. Here's some free legal advice. It is not lawful to assault anyone anywhere, especially at the courthouse steps. That's going to get you arrested quicker than anything.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what the judges say.
I think this judge is going to say you're going to jail.
Probably. If the police are watching a bar to catch drunk drivers, that's entrapment.
No, that is not entrapment. Entrapment is when the government seduces you or entices you to do something that you normally wouldn't do. Like if the government says, hey, I want you to do this controlled buy for us on drugs, and I want you to go over here and I want you to sell this drug to somebody. We put some wire on you. They can't come back and charge you with selling the drugs.
Because they organize the whole scheme.
They organize the whole thing. So entrapment is a defense to someone who wouldn't have done it if it wouldn't been for the government, or is somebody who is not predisposed to normally doing that sort of activity if it weren't for government interference. And it's a defense. But police sitting outside of a bar to catch drunk drivers, that's not entrapment, just as good police work.
If the police do not read your rights, then the arrest is illegal.
I hear this all the time. If the police do not read you your rights, then the arrest is illegal.
I bet they get out of jail, don't they?
No, they don't get out of jail. It's not a get out of jail card if the police do not read you your rights. It's not some sort of magical one that you can wave in front of the judge to get off on the charge. You don't know how often this comes up in practice. I'm in criminal court at least 2 or 3 days a week. And I at least have one person tell me that, hey, they didn't read me my rights or nothing. And it's not a magical one to get you out of jail. The only thing that means if they didn't read you your rights and they have arrested you is that any statements that you have made after you were arrested, they can't use against you. That's the whole thing about a Miranda rights. That's the whole thing about a Miranda statement is anything you say or do can or will be held against you in a court of law from that point on from them Mirandizing you.
You know, Miranda, when he got his charges overturned and all that. Once he was out on the street again and went to bars, he would take those little police cards with him and sign them for people. That's how he would make money to drink for free. But he got into a bar fight with a guy and got, I think, stabbed and killed. And the cops came and they read the guy his Miranda rights and he invoked them.
Oh, wow.
If you are being questioned by the police, if you say, am I free to go, they must let you leave.
This is kind of true. If you say I'm free to go and you've not been detained or arrested, they do have to let you go. But if they believe that you've committed a crime or they suspect you have committed a crime and you say I'm free to go, they have every right in the world to detain you.
Do they have to answer the question?
I would think so.
Yeah.
I would think so. I would think they would have to answer the question. I think that if I'm not being lawfully detained and I'm saying I'm free to go and they're not answering my question, that in turn is a unlawful detention.
I think so too. It's illegal to talk about your wages with your coworkers.
This is 100% false. And Wade, who do you think would put out such a rumor?
I would assume whoever pays your coworkers.
Right. And it was, and you know, I've heard this before. We can't talk about with our coworkers our wages because it's illegal to do so. And I just think this is a rumor made by companies, so that way that you don't find out the person that you work with doing the same job that you're doing gets paid more money than you get paid.
Could a company do an NDA in your hiring contract that you're not allowed to talk about your wages?
maybe, but I still think that even if you do get out and talk about it, there might be grounds for them to fire you, but it's not illegal to do it.
Okay. I agree. I think this is First Amendment. You're allowed to talk about your wages. I heard someone say once before that if you are running from the cops and running a church, you can claim sanctuary and cannot be arrested.
I actually know someone who's done this.
Oh, they were doing the Dukes of Hazzard defense?
And listen, he's passed away now, and he was a great guy, but he liked the sauce.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, and it actually happened here in Williamson.
Tell me more.
So he was running away from the cops, and he ran into a church here in Williamson and said, I claim sanctuary. You know what happened?
What happened?
He went to jail. So, no, that is not true. You can't claim sanctuary when running into a church. I think this is something that comes out like the medieval times.
It could be.
Yeah, because, you might see this on like the Three Musketeers or something. I don't know where you would see this at, but
I think I've seen it with Catholic churches with some of the deportations that they won't let people come in, but if they're being chased in, I think they're coming.
Yeah.
The chase that's the exception to the Fourth Amendment searches, right? If someone's in a hot pursuit, they're coming for you. Now, I think the Dukes of Hazzard crossing the county line, that's also made up, right?
Yeah. What are you saying? If you cross a county line, they can't come after you?
Yeah.
I think they can. I think if you cross state lines, they can come after you. I think they can radio in and.
Oh, I disagree with that.
No, I think they can. You think that if I killed you and I went in a chase with the West Virginia State Police and I'm going to cross the line, that they wouldn't follow me into Kentucky?
No, I think they would follow you, and I think they would probably arrest you or shoot you. I'm just saying they don't have the authority of law enforcement.
They do not, but I think that no one's going to say nothing to them about it.
Well, when those Kentuckians came over to arrest these Hatfields, we had something to say something about it.
We did. Well, I think it's because the West Virginia governor was related to the Hatfields.
Well, yeah, his last name was Hatfield. That's why I'm saying state lines do mean something.
I know they do mean something, and I know they're out of their jurisdiction, but
those Texas boys haven't got those Democrats back in the state yet.
But I think what's going to happen is that when they're going to follow you long enough that they can radio in and get Kentucky law enforcement officers to help them assist in the chase, and then I think they would back off.
Yeah. Well, depends if there's a good relationship or not. INAB.
I think it says, I'm no attorney, but.
You know the lingo. Okay. If a cop pulls you over for speeding, always ask for the radar detector calibration printout. If they cannot produce it, then the ticket is void.
Absolutely false. It's not void. You still need to show up for a hearing on your ticket. But this could be, you can ask for that in court, but just the cop is not going to have with him the radar detector calibration printout in his car when he pulls you over.
No, I don't. I think they just write down a number. I don't even think they have a radar.
No, and it's, well, yeah. Well, when they said you're going 26 miles an hour over the speed limit, it's kind of hard to prove. Where did you get that 26 miles an hour at? A lot of officers say their eye is trained.
Oh, yeah, they're pacing.
Yeah, or they're pacing, and their eyes trained. They know that you were going so much over all this pseudoscience. But yeah, asking for a radar detector calibration printout is good in court, but it doesn't necessarily make the ticket void.
Yeah, I would agree. They're not going to give you anything like that. They're just going to say you were going this fast. Here's a ticket. Sign it.
Check out the Reddit user's name.
The Joint Destroyer. You think he's like really good at jujitsu and like it's getting people in arm bars?
Yeah, cartilage destroyer, bone destroyer. Yeah, I think it's along that line. That's what he's talking about.
I would think so too.
Yeah, me too.
That was the last one.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you guys like this, we'll try to do this again, Wade. I like this bad legal advice Reddit reads.
I enjoyed it a lot. Next time, I'm going to have concrete evidence you can beat your wife on the courthouse steps.
You better bring your evidence.
West Virginia.
I don't want to get that out into the universe that we support that here at the Docket Dodgers.
There's a lot of laws that we don't support, but you're allowed to do.
I just think that one is kind of third world country.
Well, have you been to Huntington?
Okay, guys. See you later.
Goodbye.